San Manani, you guys, like what's up and stuff, like we're in the next part here. Yang, kindly go and peruse the previous part that you might gauge your bearings. Otherwise, you're going to be like, what in the world is she talking about? She just starts talking. She just keeps on rambling. How did I even happen upon this? Like YouTube. You know what, Facebook? You know what, TikTok? You know what, social media? You just keep on recommending all these fools to us. What are you doing? Stop. Go check out my previous part and you'll figure out what we're talking about. Anyway, I was talking about the South African issue with all of these podcasts and how it is that I came up with a strategy, a little bit of a strategy, to conquer 2-hour power cuts. My goodness, how we have to keep on adapting. South Africa, what are you exactly? An amoeba, a single-celled organism. All you do is one thing all the time, just cut power. What are you doing? Anyway, so here lies the deal. This brain-eating amoeba called South Africa is switching off power more times a day than we'd appreciate, and every so often for 4 hours. And they don't want to receive help from anybody, especially considering most of the recommended solutions to fix the country's power cut crisis is coming from white South Africa. A whole bunch of white people that are like, hey, look, I'm an independent contractor. I do wind and solar power. Hey, what's up? I'm all about that hydropower. Hey, hello. And they just get ignored. Because of a pompous black government that is like, I'm sorry, you with your white skin, don't do it. Right? They don't want to hear white people speak. Because that's just the nature of our government. They are so stuck in the days of apartheid that they feel as if though if they give a massive, revolutionary, transformative contract to a majority white establishment, it's just going to take us right back to 1982 or something. So for those reasons, they are letting the country just kind of sit around languishing in the dark, sitting, feeling sure. Eventually, they faint, and the weakest among them die. Yeah, no, they are causing South Africans to commit suicide in their buckets of numbers. Do you know that South Africa has got the second highest rate of suicide as at last time I checked anyway, second to no one but Russia. Russia, yes. Well, ever since the war in Ukraine, that statistic might just have gotten worse or better. I don't know for Russia, but if it's gotten better or worse for Russia, it means South Africa is now officially number 1 in the world. Why are South Africans killing themselves? South Africa, of which is predominantly made up of indeed Africans, black people, who historically don't have many such statistics attached to them should we use euphemisms. Long story short, black people tend historically to be the least suicide committing demographic in the world, and the reason for that is because they've been put through so much crap all throughout history that they developed a thick skin, a very, very thick skin, sufficiently enough for them to endure some of the worst depressing conditions in the world and just not kill themselves. However, here it is that South Africans are second in the world in terms of their suicide rate. What, oh what, wonder I, could that have been caused by? What, oh what, wonder I, could that have been caused by? Yeah, no, I'll tell you, Endure people through enough power cuts in a day and watch them do nothing in the middle of those quiet seasons but think about their terrible lives. The power cut crisis, of which, mind you, also goes out of its merry way to disembark small to medium enterprises altogether, ripping them from this economy and thus creating poverty-stricken souls out of those that would have been middle class. So they are decimating the middle class with these power cuts, and it's only the super wealthy that are even able to just barely survive these power cuts. That's what's good. Individuals that are relying on generator power or other kinds of alternative strategies for powering themselves are also getting exasperated and worked thin, and so they are pretty much sitting out power cuts too, rather than have to pay for the expensive backup power that they need during these dark times. And so even the lofty among us are starting to kind of crumble under this disease, this gangrenous disease that no one wants to amputate in the land. So as a result, what happens since you've become poor when once you were middle class? What then happens since all you can do is think about what you've lost and your life sucks? What then happens when the country's so full of witchcraft that people keep on getting ripped from any kind of joy at all by just this random oppression on their souls? Their minds are ever being beleaguered about them by demonic spirits. What happens when a person is then in the middle of all that jazz? enduring like a 2-hour like moment of silence, they off themselves. They commit suicide. Oh my goodness, what then when there is a 4-hour moment of silence? More so will the dude that would have survived the 2-hour moment of silence, in the 3rd hour, will they then off themselves? South Africa has created an epidemic of suicide in a nation full of black people who historically are known to not really go out like that because they just know slavery and stuff, so they stay strong. But try staying strong when you've been gotten accustomed, used to consuming electricity, finding a way out of your darkness, going on social media to make yourself feel better, like scrolling on a whole bunch of worthless photos on Facebook just to pass time, and now you can't do that. You can't do that. Oh, and mind you, when then, wait for it. When then you've got a laptop, or you've got a cell phone device, and you've got a dongle, or you've got a, like some kind of like, you know, ability to access internet, like you've got a SIM card that's got a whole bunch of data in it. Yeah, sure, with that you can still continue to, you know, stream on YouTube during the darkness. You can also continue to, I don't know, scroll on photos on Facebook in the middle of the darkness and watch cute baby photos and cute kittens doing cute things on the internet. But like, guess what happens to Telkom and Vodacom and MTN and Cell C and all these other telecommunications providers when power is cut for more than 2 hours? They also start to choke up like a storm. They also start to grumble like a geriatric. They also start to get emphysema like an old man, and they also start to breathe their last. And so therefore, technology comes to a dead still when a power cut endures for longer than 3 hours. For 2 hours the other day, I went through a 4-hour power cut, and when the power came back finally, I was like, oh, I felt like I was wearing a corset, and it was like literally taking all of my intestines and squeezing them in a bunch. Finally the corset got set free. Turned on my computer to gauge what's happened upon my life on social media since then, since I'm trying to grow social media accounts, because I'm trying to get myself out of poverty, because Africa has seen it fit in all of its ancestral worship to make me a poor woman. And I'm like, shut up, stop talking, I'm gonna get there anyway. Right, so there Laza Garabo releasing herself from the corset, and she's now breathing, and guess what? It's bad enough sister had not no lot for 4 hours, but then I had to deal with Vodacom actually, that's the router I'm on to. My cell phone is Telkom Mobile. The router in the house is Vodacom. Alright? I had to wait for both Telkom and Vodacom to basically be like, you know that motor starter in a boat, and then like if it doesn't have enough fuel, gas, or if it's been rusted over a season because you haven't used it in a minute and it doesn't want to start, and what you need is a booster cable in a vehicle before the car starts again because it's been parked for too long. I had to wait 45 minutes for Vodacom and Telkom to be operational again. So essentially, even if you have got data on your cellular phone device, hey? Even if you have got a little dongle key that enables you to, I don't know, stream forevermore during a power cut because you have a laptop on your devices during a power cut, when then these power cuts endure for more than 2 hours, even you are going to run out of juice at some point. So even the most loftiest have people, those who, just, survive, they've got like a lighter that keeps like burning in the middle of a power cut. At some point, all the gas in that lighter is going to run out, and you're going to have to just like sit like the rest of us. So there comes a time in a 4-hour power cut when the whole country is just sitting, listening to their problems, their woes, their issues. And so there comes a time when a percentage of those people just go and grab a noose and kill themselves because finally South Africa tipped them over the edge. The nation is killing its citizens. So like a power, these power, wait again, next part!